Welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast, now part of the All City Network. Hit the subscribe button for YouTube and also become a DLLS diehard at www.alldlls.com. Now here's Jeff and John. Everybody, welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast. This is episode number 18. Today, Jon Gray, Texas Rangers pitcher Jon Gray is going to join us. He'll be jumping on at any time here, probably in the next 30 minutes. He's supposed to get around. Yeah. It's around 9:30 right now. He's supposed to jump on around 10 o'clock this morning. Hey, hit that subscribe button down below. Go to DLLS_sports. Hit the subscribe button there. Hey, they're covering everything right now, including they cover the Mavericks, they cover the Stars, and including the Cowboys with the debacle that Jerry Jones is flat out screwed this thing up big time. Yeah, I've gone to listen to some of that, but he screwed it up.
I'm not. I don't really pay attention to that. I don't.
You're not a Cowboy fan, and you're not a big.
But I mean, it's a big deal, obviously, in our area. But make sure this mic is close to my face. I just don't like when it gets a certain point in the year.
Yeah,
I just really lock in on baseball. Like
right. Sure.
I didn't know all the Mavs had all these injured players. You know, I mean, I knew Luka was hurt, but
right
now Derek Lively hurt. Like 6 other guys.
That's why you got to go to the All City Sports DLLS podcast, because every show on me, I'm listening to Holly and them and what's his name talk about the Cow. But look, I grew up a Cowboy fan. You did, yeah. I did, and so I'm sitting there. I have been long gone on the Cowboys. The day that he let Bill Parcells walk away, it was the first time he had finally admitted that maybe he needed a football guy back in here.
Yeah,
Jimmy Johnson. I was like, this guy will never get another dollar. I'm always going to root for the Cowboys, but I'm not spending $1 on them because that owner is an arrogant fool. Right. I like Ray Davis. Ray Davis, you can question, does he spend enough? Ray Davis never talks to the media. You never see him. He lets people that run baseball run baseball.
Yeah, and that's good and bad. Sometimes the owner has to speak.
Right. For you, especially as a beat writer, you like to talk to him.
Well, I mean, Chris Young has a boss.
Yep.
And I guess, when Ray Davis fired John Daniels, he spoke, but you gotta talk more. And I don't you don't have to tell us everything that's going on, but be a little bit more visible. But he hates it. He's 83, 82, 83, somewhere in there. So
and he knows who you are.
There's no he knows who we are. There's no changing him though. So
yeah. He shakes my hand. He didn't know my name, but he probably knows you beat guys and knows who you are. He always pops down there during home games. If he's there, he'll walk out around that dugout and say hi and do that. Neil's more talkative than him, but Neil doesn't make the decisions that Ray makes.
Well, Neil's making some TV decisions, so that's got to be coming due here soon. But anyway, lots of we're less than 3 weeks till spring training.
Well, look, let's talk about this team because more things have happened. Obviously, the last time we kind of touched on Roki Sasaki that went down. He signed yesterday, had some formal thing with the Dodgers yesterday.
Yep.
There's still a lot of debate, and I don't necessarily get all behind this about maybe there was some pre-done deal already before all this mess started, and he was always going to go to the Dodgers. I think it was always predicted he was going to go to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Look, the guy's a free agent. He's free to go wherever the freaking heck he wants to go. That's just reality.
Right. And, there's nothing you can do about that.
No.
And the Dodgers, I think a lot of the issue here with people is that, Joel Wolf, the agent at the winter meetings, was talking like, well, he doesn't necessarily need to go to a big market, doesn't need to have Japanese teammates, just trying to gin up interest, I guess. But it was a bit of a surprise, though, I guess, based on what we had heard from the agent.
Right.
Now, obviously, with what they have on their team, very, very good team, 2 elite Japanese players, the best player in the world.
Without a doubt. And there's no question in that.
And then their willingness to spend all kinds of money.
Yeah.
It's like, well, all right, it makes a ton of sense. You feel bad for the Blue Jays who keep getting there.
Yeah. Did they lose that? Were they second place for you, Darvish?
Yes. Okay. Yes. And the thing is they have
Japanese market up there in Canada.
But it's not just that. It's like they have this Rogers Communication, which can basically write a blank check to them, because they're the main I don't know if the main deal, but they're a big deal up there in communication wise in Canada, all of Canada. They could have made him the face of Canada,
Sure.
And just, hey, Roki, how much money do you want?
Yeah.
So anyway, but
I think the endorsements are coming. He's going to get his fair share anyway.
Sure.
But you know what? He went to a team with 2 other Japanese players already, and one of them the best, like you said, the best player in the world.
Yeah.
In Shohei Ohtani. So I mean, he just probably, I don't know. It's his choice. But I really think had the Rangers been able to get him into the stadium and be able to make a pitch, it might have at least opened his eyes a little more, because you got to compare San Diego, which they had Yu Darvish. He was a fan of Yu Darvish. He also did go to Toronto, and do that. For some reason, he left the Rangers off and didn't even go there, and they didn't get a chance to make their pitch. But it certainly seems like in his head, it was kind of in your head. He wanted to go to the Dodgers, but he wanted to still see what was there. Well, it's in life. People do that. My son's got into UT. He's always wanted to go to UT, but you're looking at other schools too. You don't know. And even though he got in, he hasn't seen this campus. So we got to go down there and see the campus. Because we're not just going to make that choice just because.
I tell you, you got to see the place. Like I would have never gone to TCU if I hadn't seen the campus first.
I'm going to tell you right now, I know TCU is one of the prettier campuses I've ever been on. My older son went to tour at TCU.
Yeah.
And I've been over there for games and stuff, but
I'm telling you, that's why I went.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they made the money right and everything, but I wasn't going to go to TCU.
Yeah.
The only reason I went is because we were on a college tour. We'd gone to a family reunion in Amarillo, and we are going to hit some campuses, and our middle of the summer, air conditioner goes out.
Yeah.
In our car. It's like,
in Texas,
we got to get this fixed. And so my dad was like, well, the place we're getting it fixed is right here by TCU. Why don't you just go over there and take a tour? I was like, oh, come on. I don't want to.
Did you have a school you really thought you wanted to go to?
Well, I was thinking, honestly, we were going to go to Baylor and Texas were on the tour. And then my dad wanted me to apply to Texas Tech because that's where his dad went.
Okay.
And then I applied to Colorado and Arizona. But TCU just happened. It was just like, I was like, ugh. And then I got on campus and that was it.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, we can cancel this tour.
Look, Ryan loved TCU's campus. The thing with TCU for us is Ryan didn't have a high enough scores and all of that where TCU was going to offer money.
Yeah.
Like Kevin got a 32 on his ACT, which is the main reason he got into UT, along with he wrote an essay.
Yeah.
That was really good too. He's not a top 5% of his class, and it's cheaper. Texas is the cheapest state school. I mean, besides going to a little Midwestern state or whatever, that was cheap as hell. But I'm talking of the big schools that do all of that. I'm telling you right now, Texas is cheaper than A&M, and they're both cheap. I mean, not cheap, but they are.
They're not. You don't pay what you pay at a private school.
No, look, Oklahoma offered Kevin because of his ATC score. They offered him $68,000 over 4 years.
Okay,
which is $18,000 a year. But he got to pay out of state tuition. Still comes in over $20,000 a year. Well, Texas is $18,000 a year.
Wow.
So, and we don't even know if we're going to get any money.
Yeah.
Because now he's got to accept, and then we'll see if he gets any money. Mississippi State offered him a lot of money.
Oh, wow.
But it's an out-of-state tuition. So it doesn't bring it down to where you are. We knew all along Texas was the cheapest school. We just honestly didn't think it was going to be.
Well, good for him.
So that's cool. I'm going – for me, I'm a dad that loves UT. So now, I hope he ends up choosing it. But it ain't about me. It's about the kids.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I got advice for people.
Okay.
If you're going to apply, because I'm telling you, my kid got in because of that essay he wrote. Wrote an essay about his brain thing. But 3 things you got to do. If you really want your kid, he's really wanting to go to a certain school, 3 hints that will help. Number 1, they got to keep their grades at a point.
Yeah.
And they've got to get good entry scores. That's part of it. Kevin got the good entry score. His grades are good, but he's not top 10% of his class. He's probably top 20, maybe top 25%. Apply early. They have early applications.
Yeah.
Apply early. Don't apply with everyone else. Apply early and you write your essay and make it something good. And you can look, Kevin has I don't want anyone to have to use Kevin's essay. His essay was about his brain surgery and all of that.
Yeah.
I hope no one ever has to write that story. But you've got stories of why I tell you this, also know what your career is going to be. I want to study and be this.
Yeah.
And then you can write about, I want to be a teacher because of a certain teacher that did this for me back then.
Yeah.
That means a lot to them. And I know that because he wasn't an auto admit. Somebody read his essay, and that's how he got in.
Well, that's great.
And so for you parents, that's important. Early applications, make sure your kids' grades are there, but write a good essay. Don't half-ass it.
So anyway, Roki Sasaki,
sorry,
if he had gone to Globe Life Field, might have really been like, hey, really this place is all right. Yeah.
Well, then we found out yesterday the Dodgers, the freaking Dodgers, I almost want to say effing Dodgers, but like Kirby Yates goes to there. I think everyone kind of thought Kirby was a contender to come back here.
Yeah.
It was definitely somebody that the Rangers were at least interested in. Now, I kind of heard somewhere off cuff, I didn't confirm this, but did the Rangers ever really formally make him an offer?
I don't know. I haven't delved into that one. Just kind of, because they won't.
They don't talk.
They won't talk on the record anyway. They won't even talk about what offers they made. But
right.
I'm sure that they got close or got to the point where it's like, all right, what's the money? And that's still the question. It's not that they don't have the money, because it seems like things are coming together on the TV side. But
you know what I think?
They don't want to do the luxury tax again.
Right.
And they need to keep, some money in case at the trade deadline they need a piece and they can go get a guy.
You know what I think they're doing? And this is me personally. I think that there's, they've never been huge on going out and signing a big close. They've never been that way. I think they've kind of sat on their hands, and they're kind of waiting to see what's going to fall back to them in the market. And if they don't get the hot name they really want at the price they want, they think they can just go with what they've got and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because you can always make a trade at the deadline. Although we know they probably need to get another arm in here. Some other one that's got some, and it may be somebody that's down the line that's closed before, that's not going to come in for more than a couple million. Couple of million. And someone like there's still some names out there. David Robertson's still out there. He did great last year for the Rangers. He's closed games before. I saw that Estevez, did he sign with somebody or?
No, he hasn't signed with anybody yet. Unless it just happened.
Yeah. I saw where he was in talks with maybe the Reds or something.
The Reds, the Cubs, there are a lot of teams out there for him.
So there's some more names that are kind of in that Yates thing, that you're a little bit older, closed games, had decent. One of them's Kenley Jansen. Kenley Jansen.
Yeah.
But he, that guy's another guy that's kind of his best days are behind him.
Well, he's still going to get outs, but
right.
He's just having to do it a different way than he's ever had to do it, because the fastball velocity's been down. It actually spiked a little bit last 2023. It was up, but it was back down again. Really, since 19, it's been 20 when he was with the Dodgers and their closer on that World Series team. There were questions, though, going into the World Series and throughout the playoffs. Is Kenley Jansen your closer, Dave Roberts? And he said, I don't remember what he said, but anyway, that's Jansen's worst year of his career. It's a bad year for a lot of people, just the circumstances of everything. But it just seems like he hasn't quite been the guy in the years before that. So anyway, would he be a bad signing? No.
For the right price, especially.
For the right price, right. And so you just kind of wonder. I think the interesting signing yesterday, in my opinion, was Paul Sewald getting $7 million. He's 34, 35. He just had a crappy second half. He was the one that gave up the Corey Seager homer. Yeah. He's pretty well.
He was traded for that year,
right. But he's pretty. There's a familiarity with him in the West, the AL West, I guess. Maybe that didn't work out, but. So that signing, who are the guys in his category? Is Craig Kimbrell in that category? Do you want to mess with that? Kyle Finnegan, who got non-tendered by the Nationals. So anyway, it's not that there aren't names out there. It's just the guy who you wanted is no longer there. And maybe he never was going to be there. Maybe they anticipated that
Yates wasn't coming. Yeah.
The price was going to be too much. But still, I can't imagine him getting more than a 1-year deal. And if I still think if the Rangers had given him 2, but maybe he wanted a real chance to win the World Series. I mean, the window is he's going to be 38 right before opening day. So maybe he sees the writing on the wall and is like, this is my last best chance.
He's not necessarily going there to close. They just signed Tanner.
Right. We still don't know how that's going to work out with Tanner Scott and everything because, Tanner Scott's been a setup guy a lot in his career.
Hey, Kirby was amazing last year. I mean, almost
fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. No, really.
That split finger that he's got, he does not overpower anybody. He doesn't come in there and blow 99 down the middle.
But it's power stuff, though.
Yes. So he and what an unassuming guy. He's just very quiet and friendly when he's in there.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that. He's born in Hawaii and went to high school in Hawaii. He's definitely got Hawaii in him, laid back. But he'll go out there and compete.
Here's the thing: if you've got a team that doesn't have a set closer, and you don't know how you're going to figure this out, maybe you're going to go kind of by committee, maybe some rotation stuff works out. Maybe somebody from there might slide into a role in the bullpen. The guy you want running that is probably Bruce Bochy. He is a guy that knows how to pull triggers on the bullpen and make things work. I mean, for God's sakes, the guy that threw the last pitch for the first World Series ever was a guy that we thought was going to get DFA'd 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, that's true.
Big friend of the show, Josh Boers.
Yep.
I used to call it he was doing the DFA tap dance, how he was tapping. But they saw something in that arm.
Yeah, I mean, we
weren't seeing it. They were.
I thought in spring training he wasn't going to make the team, and he had a ankle injury.
Yeah.
And it straightened him out, but then he got hurt again and wasn't very good. It just happened at the right time. So,
but when he's on, though, one thing we figured out when he's healthy and on, he's another guy.
Yeah,
that's unhittable. He's really good back there at what he does. And right now, they're not going to see he's going to be gone till at least halfway through the year, I'm assuming.
I think June is when is it
okay.
As soon as he would return. And bullpens evolve throughout the year.
Sure.
And it's not unusual for teams to go into a season missing out on the guy they wanted and then be like, all right, well, we'll just ride it out until
we're ready if we're blowing a bunch of saves is not very likely to be the reason they would be out of it
right
by halfway through the season.
Yeah,
there would have to be a lot of things going, and you could see the writing on the wall. If you see the writing on the wall and you're scoring a lot on offense, doing that, and you are blowing a few saves, you can see, okay, we need to go make a move for a closer, and that's going to be what we need. But if you're not even close, and it's just like last year, things are not.
Yeah. So, but hey, it's a good looking group. And
hey, before we go any further, though, someone's about to join up with us right now. Jon Gray, let's get him in here. Looks like he's out in the car.
I am. I'm on the move.
Yeah. Hey, guys, welcome to the show. It's Texas Rangers right-hand pitcher Jon Gray. Where are you about to go work out? Where are you headed?
Just getting done with that, and I got a few more things to do today, but it's going to be a busy one, so it's going to be on the move all day like this.
I appreciate the time and the sunroof. That's adding some nice lighting, John.
Yeah.
Some primo lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you said you're like you're doing some filming this afternoon.
Yeah, there's a TV show that's in town. They're doing some things on our charity, so we're gonna go there and film some of those locations, and it's gonna be good.
Tell us that again. Tell us your charity real quick. We are big on charities here.
So we're working with ATF. It's a gym here in Dallas with it's just a lot of wounded warriors and vets and like that. They get together in there and work out, and it's a pretty good family. It's pretty cool seeing what they do. But and then also the Powerful Rescue. We love animals like we love our dogs. So yeah.
Well, that's great. What show is it?
I think it's called Inspired Lives, but it's I think it's I'll have to get more information on it, but it should be really cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Well, good for you guys. Good for you and Jacqueline and all the work you guys do. And
yeah,
how are the doggers? All good?
Oh man, they're always doing really good. They're spoiled. They're having a good time.
No new additions. Still the same
No,
crew?
still, yeah. It's crazy, but yeah, we got 8 still.
Holy crap!
What kind are they?
We have 4 Yorkies and 4 cats.
Oh, the cats. I say I can't. I know you were going to invite me to your house any day now, but I can't come because I'm definitely allergic to cats.
Yeah, my
I'd
wife
have to be super drugged up. All right, so baseball stuff. We were going to go talk to you one day in the clubhouse, and then boof, you were gone. Late in the year,
Yeah.
the neuroma situation.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have surgery?
I did, yes.
Okay, so tell people what the neuroma was.
So it's basically an enlarged, inflamed nerve in your foot, or it was my foot. So, it was in the bottom of my foot, kind of right where you need to push.
Yeah.
Pitcher. So it's kind of not in a good spot, but it's weird. They cut through the top of my foot to take it out from the bottom.
Oh my.
So they went in for the top, pulled out this nerve, and it was the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It was like a piece of like the chicken, the breast that you don't eat, like a little hard piece in there. That's what it looked like. It was gross.
Oh,
nasty.
Oh,
man. And you said it was pretty long.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was like, it was a good bit. It was, I don't know. It was just really gross seeing that come out of your foot and knowing that was in there. But I mean, just feeling it now, it's incredible. It's awesome. I can't believe I was playing with that.
Yeah. I mean, I told you the other day at FanFest, I was like, hey, what are the symptoms of this? You said, yeah, you might be dealing with that. You said, don't let it get to a 9. So you must have been pitching through a hell of a lot of pain for a lot of the year.
Yeah, and in the World Series, it was barking quite a bit. I remember that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, luckily I didn't have it. It never went crazy on the mound out there. Maybe it did once, but it was adrenaline.
So it goes back to 23, not just right. Something.
Yeah, it started happening at the end of 23, and then 24. I thought I could manage it like I did at the end of the year. Just wanted to be a healthy arm force, and then it was. I don't know. I feel like it changed a lot of how I threw the ball, so it didn't feel the same.
Okay, so now that everything's back to normal,
mm-hmm.
Where are you in your throwing? Are you off a mound yet?
Oh yeah, I'm 4 bullpens in now, so
okay.
I had a schedule.
So did you have to break some bad habits because of this neuroma? You were just kind of alluding to.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times I would fall down the mound because I was afraid to push. I didn't want to feel that feeling. So I was kind of avoiding that at all costs. So I feel like I definitely lost a lot of power. Yeah, I just thought it was another thing to think about. And I just felt like it was just kind of getting in the way.
John, it's kind of weird. And you pointed this out to me. Your arm never gets hurt.
Yeah.
It's like knee,
knock on wood,
foot, everything but your arm. So I know it's frustrating for you, but it just feels like you've got a lot probably that you still want to show these people going into your 4th year of the contract.
I know. I mean, if someone were to look at my injuries and everything, they'd be like, what the hell are you doing, kickboxing? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean, my arm's always going to go. And that's what's so frustrating because I know I can be a 200+ inning guy.
Yeah.
But I've run into a wall every year, something. So yeah, I'm trying to avoid that this year.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the rotation looks really, really good on paper, though you guys seem to be short on innings. Well, I don't know if it's a concern with you because you did still throw over, just at about 100 innings last year. Do you feel like you can do 170, 180?
Especially with a healthy foot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, arm soreness, all that stuff was never an issue. I mean, the only thing that ever kept me out was usually foot stuff. So now that that's taken care of, I mean, I'm ready to go.
It just seems like as the game has changed, and you're aware of this, I remember when I first started, like starters would be pissed if they didn't go 7 innings. It seems like you're of that mindset that you want to, at least 6, but it just seems like that's not necessarily the mindset that is prevailing around baseball. So I don't know if you're old school, but who is that just the thinking you had when you were coming up through the Rocky system?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value in that. There's a lot of value in that. Saving a bullpen. I mean, getting into the 7th, 8th inning feels so good. I mean, you throw a complete game, you feel like a man. So it's and it helps the team a lot. It really does. We saw Eovaldi do a lot over the last few years. I mean, it's been really cool to watch him. But I think that's something that's kind of getting over. I mean, something that's overlooked. I understand the bullpen and matchups and all that stuff. It's good, it works, but I don't know. I think guys that can show that they can regularly get into the 7th, 8th inning and face each guy 3 times and get him out. There's something about that that's just next level.
Yeah, the old, it's the 3rd time through the rotation. The hitters have this advantage.
Right.
If a guy's going good, they don't have an advantage. I mean, I just don't buy necessarily into it. I know I see some of the numbers, and in some cases they proves to be true. But guys who have good stuff and are on a roll, they're in control.
Yeah, I mean, it sets you up. Like a game like that sets you up for the next few.
Yeah.
Great.
So how excited are you, though? I know obviously you want to get back on the mound, but Nathan resigned. And now you're going to, in theory, at least, we're going to get a full year of Jacob deGrom. And you saw him when you were in the other league. We don't see him a lot. What is a healthy Jacob deGrom like on the mound?
It's like watching, I don't know, like a dolphin breach the water and just fly, and just it's so natural. It's so great. It's amazing. It kind of makes you mad watching it because you're like, I don't understand how I could ever do this. It's a marvel. You get to marvel at it and understand, like, this is truly incredible what I'm seeing here. This is like a one of a kind thing. So that's when I'm seeing him all the time. That's what I'm thinking about, is just how insane it is that a guy has this ability. But I don't know. But then again, to be on his team and everything like that, I feel so blessed to be able to watch it every day. I can't wait for him to actually be able to put in a good part of the season, because it's gonna be really special.
Yeah, I've said this before. Like, as a beat writer for an American League team, you know the other American League teams. You have no idea what's happening in the other league. You really don't, and especially before this new schedule, when you just played a certain division every year in interleague play, you might know those teams, but it's like, I honestly don't think I've seen Jacob deGrom pitch, but the 6 times he's pitched with the Rangers. I mean, I think that's an exaggeration, but I mean, it's less than 10 times.
You've seen highlights on TV.
Yeah, I really want to see this. This is like the thing I'm most excited about this season.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Hey, I know you have heard this before because I've talked to you about it. There are a lot of people that want you to be a reliever, not just a reliever, a closer. I guess because of the World Series. But, we broached that with Chris Young and Bruce Bochy. Like, no way, this guy's a starter. Has that even come up, this closing stuff?
It's just like another fun option, I guess. Like, if someone were to ask me to do it, yeah, of course I'll do it. I think it'd be kind of fun. I think it'd work out really good too. But yeah, I mean, it just seems like something I wouldn't have to really prepare much for, I guess, because I've been through it once and I kind of understand it now a little bit. So I think it'd be an easy transition. But yeah, there's something about that that seems really cool, like throwing the last pitch of the game, closing it out, like maybe get some little energy in your body, because as a starter, you never want to be like early on. So yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I'd be up for it.
Is it something though that, like, you would have to be told now, like, because now you still have time to change your mind, I guess. Right now you're in the mindset of starting, and I don't know, like, if on June 3rd they're like, hey, you're closer now, it seemed like you would need more time to get your mind right. Or am I making way too much out of that?
I probably wouldn't need that much time, honestly. I don't think I would. Because I keep it. You'd be surprised at how simple I keep it down there. So, yeah, I think I blend it pretty well.
All right, well, there you go, John. You're just going to add some fuel to the fire here.
Yeah, well, I think the difference would be that you would, you could possibly go 2 or 3 days in a row. I mean, it's only an inning or whatever. I mean, that might be the little. Wouldn't that be a little different than what you do now as far as preparation? Because right now you're in a system where this is the day after my start. This is when I do my bullpen. This is when it would be a little transition there.
There would, yeah. I think a little bit of like the soreness and everything like that would be kind of something I'd have to juggle. But then I don't know. I mean, but then again, I just see a lot of positives too. It's something that if they asked me to do it, I would definitely do it. But I totally understand starting. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you always said that you have a rubber arm, and we just talked about how your arm is always healthy. But you said you get warmed up in like 8 pitches. Like
Yeah.
8 throws and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. But hey, good for you.
I don't know. There's something about being on the mound every day too. As a reliever, you get to touch the mound every day. You get to kind of go through your motions every day. So I did find a lot of consistency with that during the World Series. I was like, wow, this is kind of. I feel good because I do this every single day now. As a starter, you're not on the mound all the time, so you can kind of feel different some days. But I felt more. I don't know. I feel like I was synced up really good.
Well, John Smoltz did it. I mean, he was a great closer, and then he went back to start and was a great starter. I mean, it's it seems like Jon Gray, team player, so that's cool.
Jon Gray open foot that we didn't even know about for that we got fixed, that foot. I'm ready to see Jon Gray, healthy foot, get out there and give me 150. That's what I'm ready.
About 180. Screw 150.
Yeah,
I'm saying 150 is great. So 180 is just icing on the cake.
Yeah, and to we didn't know about it. I mean, you guys go through so much stuff that nobody ever knows about.
Oh, I can't imagine.
And we can kind of see, like, we're in the clubhouse, obviously, and a guy may come through with an ice pack or with heat on his back or something like that. But a foot, if a guy comes in on crutches, all right. Like Dane, when he had to have his hip surgery and he came in, he was on a crutch. Okay, that's obvious. But there's just so much that people don't know about. Like, oh, why is he in a slump? Well, because he got hit by a pitch, 2 days ago and his arm hurts like hell, or you picked up one of your puppies wrong and your dang back had a spasm, something like that. There's just all kinds of things. Like the other day, I was folding laundry and my back grabbed. Of all the things, folding laundry, so I haven't worked out for 2 days. But it happens.
Underwear is a bitch. Man.
It
is. You start folding underwear, it's a bitch.
It was socks, but still. So anyway, I equate it to you're like you buy a new car. As soon as you drive it off the lot, boom, the value goes downhill. You guys go to spring training 100%, and then first time you throw, it's just downhill from there.
Aches and pains, and
so anyway, yeah. So you guys you go through a lot. It seems like treatment all the time. Are you constantly getting something worked on, even when you're healthy?
Yeah, it seems like there's always something that's always tight that needs to be loosened. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you certainly have a lot of people to do it, and the training staff. Does Raul ever get his hands on you? Are you a massage guy?
He does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, we do the cupping. So I like the cupping a lot. I feel like that helps quite a bit. I do really good with needles too, but I just don't really care for needles.
Oh, so you're not an does Raul do acupuncture?
No, but Regan does, and he's really good at it. And man, like he'll like, hey, I can needle that for you. I'll be like, I don't know, man. If I'm really in pain, though, I'll do it. I respond really good.
It sounds kind of dirty too. Something borderline illegal. I can needle that for you.
Needle that for
man.
you.
Come on.
Like, I don't know, man. Are
we sharing needles here? That's scary stuff. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm keeping the needles out of me.
Yeah.
Hey, so spring training is less than 3 weeks away. How will you and the missus get there? And are you taking? What animals are you taking? How is spring training like for the Grays?
So it's crazy, I know, but we take all 8 animals there.
Oh yeah.
In the past, we had an RV, so we would drive the RV out and make it.
I remember the RV, yeah.
But last year we flew, and it was easy. We did our first private flight, and that was really cool. So we might do that again. It was super easy, and the animals had their own seat. It was cool.
So you had it was you and the animals?
Yeah.
And the pilot?
Yeah, and they were it was fun. They enjoyed it. I feel like they enjoyed flying dogs more than people. So.
Oh, I bet they don't have to listen to those dogs bellyache about everything back there, man.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you have
one of my dogs ended up getting like some beef jerky sticks from one of the pilots. So I mean, they were friends.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
So like you have small dogs, so you can carry them on the plane, but these big dogs.
I've got golden retrievers.
I mean, you drug them up?
I usually give them a little bit of something, a little Benadryl or something like that, just to
I was about to say Benadryl, something to relax them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't bring our dogs on the plane. It'd be a disaster. They'd have to turn the plane around. It'd be a nightmare.
Well, my male golden retriever would be fine. My female freaks out at her shadow, so she would be over in a corner somewhere. Yeah,
we'd get a mess on. One of them would crap on the plane. There's no doubt about it.
It usually happens at least with one of ours. Yeah.
Really? Oh man. Yeah. God bless.
What about the cats? Now, are the cats kenneled on the plane, or are they just running around too?
They all have their own little individual carrier, so they just sit in there, that kind of facing each other in the seats, and they're pretty chill. They handle it really good.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Are you going to get out? Let's see, pitchers and catchers. I'm guessing you don't have a report date anymore, but the first workout day is the 12th. Will you get there a little early, or are you going to push it right to the 11th?
I'm going to be there early. I mean, this season, I'm going to be way ahead of schedule. I'm going to be an up down my next bullpen, so I mean, I'm already stretching it out a little bit. So I'm ready to come in, just hit the ground running.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Speaking of running, you're just running around all day, and I feel kind of bad that you're in your car. So we'll let you go. We're going to let you go, but we appreciate you coming on. You're always a great interview on these podcasts. You like doing them, which is great.
It's fantastic.
So thank you very much, John.
Hey, real quick.
Oh, he's got a question.
What is the cupping? I mean, I see you guys, for you guys that don't know, you guys will all come in. You have these little circles all over your body.
Yeah.
What is that?
Hey, I know it's really gross. It kind of reminds me of the Matrix where they have like the tubes in them, but it's just like a little suction cup where they put it over your skin, pull the air out of it, it sucks your skin up in it, and they just kind of move it around. It loosens up the fascia, kind of gets the blood cells to the top, and
okay, all right.
But it's incredible. If you ever really did it, and if you're really tight in your back or something like that, and you had cupping in your back, you would be able to tell a difference right away. It's
really.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's because you see it all the time. And I mean, I should ask Raul too, because he's so friendly every time I see him. Well, the whole clubhouse is friendly. But no, listen, John, we saw you out there at Fan Fest. You guys have busy lives no matter what. And this is your time off. I mean, I know you're still working out, but your time to be with the wife before you get going again, because we're about to have 6 months of going again. But thanks for stopping down and doing this.
Anytime. It's always fun. Thank you, guys.
All right, man. Drive safe.
Yeah, drive safe. We'll see you later.
See you soon.
All
right, it's Jon Gray.
Oh, there he goes.
There he goes, right there. All right, so getting back in.
Why did he said when I was texting him yesterday, he's like, can't do the afternoon. Can we do the morning? He's like, yeah, we can do the morning. That's fine. He's like, is it just on the phone? I was like, well, Zoom. He's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. I was like, well, shit, I didn't know he was going to be in his car. Anyway.
Every time I ever see him, though, he's got a big old grin. He's fun and always fun to be with. So.
All right. So, at one point last year, John, I was like, hey, what do you think about closing? He's like,
yeah.
So, I don't know. Now he's like all for it. So, there you go. Hey,
he's a team guy. He's ready to do whatever it takes. Look,
I just think he likes to pitch.
I do too.
I think, and they like to win. They all like to win.
He knows that he makes a great living playing baseball.
Yeah.
So he wants to continue to play baseball and make a great living.
Yeah.
And the way you do that is not belly aching. If someone says, I really think this might be a way you can help the team, you go, okay, well, you're paying me money. So use me. That's the way you do.
That's what we would do.
Yeah.
I don't know that a lot of people do it.
Use me. So and stuff like that. And speaking of that, now that we've gone into what we thought closer role might be, we talked to Jon Gray about it.
We got answers now.
Yeah, we got answers there. A little bit. So spring training is coming up, and we're going to be going out there. You'll be out there a lot. What do you think? You'll be out there 3 weeks or?
Well, I'm booked the first trip for 10 days. Remember, I have a contract with my wife that I can't be gone more than 10 days.
Right. Okay.
11th, I get there the 11th.
You'll be there when they get there.
Unlike John, I will not be there a few days early. I will be getting there the night of the 11th, showing up the next morning for the first day of workouts, and then I'm going to leave the 21st, which I think is either the day of the first game or the day after. I don't recall, but and then from there, it's still kind of up in the air. But I always like to go once in the middle to coincide with the start of minor league camp.
That's probably when I'm going to try to go whenever we go in the middle.
And then at the end. So it'll end up being, around 20 days this year.
That's your job, dude. I mean, you've got
that is my job.
You've got to cover it. I like getting out there. It's really when I get to know a lot of these guys, and we talk to some of the minor leaguers. By the way, so my minor league, I'm going to do my minor league thing for DLLS, and I say it's our minor league thing. I kind of met, you guys know my rule. My rule is you cannot have played one day in the big league.
Yeah, I like it.
But I always get Jeff's input because you've done this for me a couple of times. There's been times that one of the times I always run the first list. I go, here's my list. What do you think?
Yeah.
And there's been times you've said, hey, you need to add this guy. And it's usually an international player that's kind of farther down. You need to add this guy. Well,
right.
usually bumps off number 20 because I do top 20. But it's a guy that maybe I didn't really know that and then I go do some deep dive, and I'm like, oh, crap, you're right. Look at this guy, what he's done.
Yeah.
And so I add him in to do that. This time, I mean, you always have a switch. I'd send it to you the other day. You said I'd put this guy above this guy, and that's what I would do. So I'm going to start it. We'll do 10 at a time. Hopefully this weekend I'll have out 11 through 20. Just a little piece about it, and then I'll get the top 10 going in there. You cannot have played one day in the major leagues. Kumar Rocker is not going to be on this list.
That's right.
But the last three, I think the last three that I've had as my number one all made the big leagues the next year.
Well, I think Langford was your number one last year.
Right. And then the year before that, I had Carter.
Well, there you go.
And he ended up making it by the end of the year. And then I think the year before that, I had Leiter. And then the next year, didn't Leiter.
Well, no, because Leiter just debuted last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
No, there was someone I had that.
I don't know.
I don't.
Anyway, it's a pretty entertaining look. It's different for sure than
the other list.
Than other lists where
Foskew's going to be on it.
Right.
You're going to have Dustin Harris on some of them. You're going to have Leiter on it.
Yeah.
You're going to have Rocker for sure.
Yeah. I forgot. Dustin Harris made his debut there at the end. So
he's not on it.
Anyway, bullpen.
Yes.
We keep going off on these tangents. I'm not blaming anybody here, John.
We're just
talking. So the bullpen, that is interesting. What John said about wanting to be a starter or wanting to be a reliever, he'd do it. Yeah, sure. Hey, whatever. So hey, there's the solution everybody's looking for. But the Rangers would then be creating a hole in their rotation, and that's kind of where Chris Young and Bruce Bochy were coming from. Now this is back at the winter meetings. That's 2 months ago, roughly 7 weeks, and so. You're kind of like, all right, and then the landscape has changed a little bit. Maybe you're not going to be re-signing Kirby Yates, which it does appear going to be, and maybe you're not going to get a closer after all. So I don't know. You kind of look at the starting pitching pool. It's like, okay, who's out there? Jack Flaherty. All right, well, Jack Flaherty's going to cost too much, and he's going to be too many years. Right. And so the Rangers have some young guys coming up that they're going to want to. Corbin Burns is signed.
Where did he go?
Arizona.
Oh, that's right.
But speaking of Arizona, Jordan Montgomery's out there, and they want to get rid of him. So what would it take? They'd
have to eat money, but they probably would.
The Diamondbacks would be willing to eat the money. So a couple prospects, and you put Jordan Montgomery in the rotation. Well, hey, all right, there you go. You got another starter. It's going to give you
put him back with Maddox.
A bunch of innings, and he's back with Mike Maddox and all of that stuff in a place where he won a World Series and had a great time.
Seemed to like it here.
He's had a full off season, no drama other than the fact that he might get traded, but he at least knows that he's going to a camp.
He is going to a camp, and he will start on time in a camp. He will start the season on time. He didn't do that last year. Right. So anyway, there's a guy. How about Andrew Heaney? Well, he's still available, but what is Andrew going to want? Yep.
Max Scherzer. How much can he pitch? And what if Verlander's $15 million is kind of I think Scherzer would take $15 million and $1 just to beat Verlander.
Yeah,
but, I think
he's also is Verlander older? I think Scherzer's
they're in the same ballpark.
Yeah, right around 40 or 41.
But they're very close in career strikeouts. They both have 3 Cy Youngs.
Right.
A couple World Series for Max. I think 1 or 2 for Verlander. So. Look, I mean, there are ways to go about it. I really like the idea of David Robertson, not Daniel Robertson, the short little outfielder from 2014. I still after a year will call David Robertson Daniel Robertson.
Yeah.
But there's some other, even the rest of the setup guys aren't great. Tommy Canely, okay, but he gets hurt a lot. There's a couple lefties out there, Jacob Junis and Daniel Coulomb. All right, do they excite you? No. Are they another arm? Well, yeah, they're another pretty good arm. Or do you just maybe be like, all right, we got our 5 guys and Mark Church, and then two long guys to piggyback when these starters go short, and that's our group. So there's still 3 weeks to meddle to figure it out. But
things could fall to them.
Yeah, and keep in mind, guys sign these days well into spring training.
And the one that can do that and still be okay is usually a reliever.
Absolutely. Will Smith didn't sign until March 1st in 23, and that, I know he didn't turn out well in the second half, but he was pretty dang important in the first half. So ways to go about it, but I just still think they'll do something, and hey, maybe they'll listen to the Rangers Day weekly podcast and be like, oh, God dang, Jon Gray really is okay being a closer? All right, it's done.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But that was pretty interesting. And then
I'm interested to see what Jon Gray does now, though, finding out about this foot.
Yeah.
That he was dealing with. These guys play through pain. That happens to every athlete that does it. You have pain no matter what. But he had to have surgery that fixed it. And it was this deep thing in his foot. Maybe just a full one healthy, like you said, he's elastic man in the arm.
Well, and it's pretty interesting when you look at 23. Okay, they win the World Series. He said it was hurting in the World Series.
Right.
Okay, so you have one
offseason,
but you have one less month. You don't prepare on time, and when you prepare, something's going on in your foot. That leads to other things, and I think it got to the point where
compensate. Yeah.
You compensate, you change your delivery, but sounded like he was getting to the point where he was going to risk his arm. And so anyway, fully healthy Jon Gray, fully healthy Nathan Eovaldi, fully healthy.
When Jon Gray's on, he's a good starting pitcher. I don't care what anybody says. He is a good starting pitcher.
Oh yeah. He had a case for the All-Star game, I thought, in 23. He had a really good first half.
He pitched well in Colorado, which is a tough freaking place to pitch.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, that's an interesting option there. But yeah, some things are afoot in that spring training is right around the corner. We just had the Fan Fest, which is always kind of the kickoff to
seeing a lot of players out there. Yeah, seeing a lot of players out there. Got to meet. And by the way, and y'all didn't know that. So you're the one that brought it up. I finally got to talk to Jake Berger, but you noticed it. I was wearing my son goes to Missouri State.
Yeah.
And I was wearing my Missouri State. It was cold.
It was
cold.
Yeah.
So I had my Missouri State big sweatshirt on. And we were in this little room back there where they had the players underneath. And we were sitting in this one room, it was like a little conference table there. And we were all sitting on our phones and computers or doing whatever. And he walked by, and then you said he looked at your shirt and said something. He saw it or did something. Well, later he walked in, he had his parents with him.
Uh-huh.
And so I got up and stepped out because I was like, well, I'm going to introduce myself then. And I stepped out, and they came to me and just went, hey, Missouri State. So we started talking about Ryan being there. And then I told him, and I said, hey, yeah, my son lives in these apartments. When you look out the apartments, you're looking at where the Springfield Cardinals play, and that's where Missouri State plays.
Yeah.
It's right. They play at where the minor league team is. And he goes, was it the Aspens? And I went, yes, that's where he lives. He goes, that's where I lived. He goes, man, nice. I love those apartments. And that's so cool. Ryan goes, well, hell yeah, there's a lot of party guys here that are the athletes that live in this deal. So my son thought it was really cool. Jake and his wife are just unbelievably nice. Kara Stewart, one of our fans that talks to us all the time, really brought it up about both. Jake has a daughter who was born with Down syndrome.
Yes.
And he's going to wear 21 because of that. Because
correct.
It's the 21st chromosome or something like that.
Trisomy 21.
And Kara was, and she may work with people with special needs. She was really into that because she also brought up, what's his name, has a brother.
Jock Peterson's brother.
Champ.
But
I got to meet the daughter when I was leaving. He was signing autographs, and the door I went out, the parents were sitting back there, and I went over. And so she's just adorable.
Yeah,
I mean, she is just adorable.
Beautiful baby. Yeah.
And his son was he was bored.
Yeah,
anyone that has kids,
fighting it.
Anyone that has kids know that kids that age, I think he's about 2 or 3.
He's 2. He's not 3.
He's not 3.
He may not even be 2 yet.
Yeah,
he might be working on 2.
Yeah, that's right. I think he's like 18 months or 14 months. Anyone that has kids that young knows you've got to do something with them. They are not going to sit around and just be. But he had passed out by then.
Oh, okay.
So he was asleep. I said, he finally fallen. He said, yeah, he missed nap time. I'm like, you don't have to tell me how important nap time is. You know this.
Yeah.
You've got 2 kids. We all have kids. But anyway, what a great family. I was like, y'all got to let me know when you're in town. His parents they live in St. Louis.
Yeah. That's
and I found out Berger's neighbors with Bochy.
Right. Yeah, they live in the same, like 2 blocks apart in the same area, south of Nashville.
Yeah, the wife said, they're like 8 houses away from us.
Yeah, crazy. Like crazy.
His wife, pretty girl, by the way, and just what a wonderful family. Jake is seems like have you talked to him yet much at all?
Just a little bit, yeah.
We need to get him on here. He is such
the big thing he announced on Friday night before the awards dinner is that he's going to have a foundation in addition to the 21. He's going to start a foundation that for helps out folks with Down syndrome
or special needs or something like that.
So it's right now they're finishing up the 501c3 process,
getting it all together. Okay,
and so anyway,
awesome. Well, then
that's what we do.
That's right. That's for sure. Get him on. He'll be great to talk to. Just an unbelievable. Hey, and if we'd have had time, I would have talked to John about some of his teammates. But I tell you right now, you and I say it all the time. That clubhouse is full of good humans. They're just a bunch of good, all the way through the minor leagues.
No, it's true. It really is.
Sebastian Walcott was there, and I stepped out. We were getting ready to leave, and he was there for Fan Fest.
Yeah.
He came up, gave me a hug, and I was like, how long are you here? And he said, well, I'm leaving tomorrow, head back to Florida. He's going to probably start at AA this year. I don't see why he wouldn't.
So, yeah.
Because he ended up there last year. That's going to be good for you guys. We need to get Zach on here one day too, Bigley, to talk. But you're going to have a guy that's going to be a big leaguer is going to be playing at AA for sure this year. And Sebastian.
Well, and
you're going to have a few of them.
Rosario is probably going to start there, so there's going to be.
Kyoto's going to start AAA. He ended up there, but
yeah, I think that's where he will end up.
With that.
But anyway, there's another closer guy, but yeah, most of the top prospects were there last week. Sorry, not Frisco, but last week at Globe Life Field for like a leadership deal that they do every year. And it's pretty fun to get to talk to these guys. They're so excited to be there, and we talked to them and all of that jazz, and was able to talk to Anthony Gutierrez, whose English is fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So
and he's doing well. That's the big signee international wise a couple of years ago, and he's been. Injuries. He had a torn labrum last year from swinging a bat. Not the same Josh Young injury, same injury Josh Young had. I don't know. I've lost track. 23.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was good. It was good to talk to him. Good to talk to all those guys. Walcott, Malcolm Moore. But I was sitting there and it's like, God dang, all these guys have been on the show except for like Cole Drake and the 2 guys who don't speak English.
Yeah.
So hey, all right, get to know your prospects here first.
Absolutely, and get to talk to them first because we do get them on a lot.
Yeah,
because they enjoy coming on. It's fun to see their life in the minor leagues and where they're at and what they're doing. And by God, if you're not following what they do, it's pretty amazing. You can watch those there's box scores every night. It's not like the old days. The old days you had to go get a baseball weekly and look at box scores for the week. And do that. Now you can nightly look at box scores and see what's going on. And if you buy the little package, you can get that deal. But I think that's it.
Yeah, I do too.
You got to head in to get the weekly show.
Yeah,
today.
I just trying to think of loose ends here on the Rangers, and they've avoided arbitration with everybody, so we don't have to worry about that. Everybody appears to be healthy. Corey Seager said he's good. So that's probably the big one that you're in. Jacob deGrom said he's good. Adola said he's good. So
Jon Gray said he's good.
Jon Gray just revealed that he's very good. So
Josh Young said he's going to show up with bubble wrap.
Yeah.
That was funny. He said that at the little deal. Of course, he told us he was getting stuff fitted for – he was going to wear everything.
Oh, yeah, all kinds of armor. Yeah.
But he made a joke there about I'm going to wear bubble wrap, for the – look, his injuries are not his injuries have been freak injuries.
Yeah. I mean, he did yank a calf last year before spring training. So that's like the first real, like, hey, that's an injury. Okay. Not like a, broken arm that's shattered into a bunch of pieces and they have to use glue to put it back together.
And redo a surgery because it didn't take. And, and that guy is, what a nice guy that Young is, and it's just frustrating. I can't imagine being an athlete who just freak accident like that.
Yeah, sure.
Get hit with that pitch and all of that. Well, let's get out of here.
Let's do it.
I'm heading to Austin tonight. You got to get to the Daily Show, get that going today. Guys, listen, big thanks for Jon Gray for coming on here. For Jeff Wilson, Jon Gray, I'm John Moore. Until next week, guys, we'll see you at the yard.